What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Farmer on the Prairie. So today's a special day, not only because I picked up my camera for the first time in 3-4 months now, but I'm planning on hopefully recording multiple videos throughout this harvest. We'll see how it goes, see what we have time for, how many we can get uploaded. But I'm excited because we're hopefully going to start harvesting. Today's Wednesday. Probably on Friday will be our first field of beans that we're cutting. So got a lot of stuff to get prepared before then. I'll take you guys along for that. One of the other things we got to do today is we're going to be moving the cows back onto pasture, hopefully a pasture without much clover, because it is going to be getting down to 36 tonight and 39 tomorrow night. Both nights are going to have quite a bit of frost, and our cattle are out in a summer grazing mix right now that turns toxic when it's frosted. So they need to go back onto a pasture, and that will be getting done this afternoon. So we'd like to get in the field maybe tomorrow, but just with everything going on, it will be Friday before we can get there. But let's get started. And it is cold this morning. It's like 40 degrees. So anyhow, we had a light frost this morning. Hopefully nothing that'll affect the cattle though. We changed the oil in the combine yesterday, as you can tell by that bucket. This is our 9150 case 4-wheel drive that we purchased this spring. Behind it is a Great Plains Qualidisc. It is a high-speed disc. You did see the video of us demoing this. It's a 280 or 90 horsepower tractor. It has 4,000 hours, and I just redid the cab interior because it is a 1990. We have a new seat on order because that thing is very uncomfortable, but it has not come in yet because, well, it's 2022 and you can't get anything you want when you want it. It new cab interior all around. You can see there, headliner, got the back wall done. I got, it used to have exposed pillars. It now has covered pillars. Other than the blower fan for the HVAC system, the blower fan's a little bit loud, but the cab's actually very quiet. The aspirator needed replaced, or the aspirator tube that goes from a hard line there to the air filter that pre-cleans the air. That needed replaced, so we're trying to find a tube that fits on that. The old Magnum here needs all those new hoses. A bunch of the hoses underneath the cab blew, and it's got oil running everywhere. It kind of left us sit in the middle of getting our alfalfa planted. So we got to do that as well. But right now I'm going to clean the cabin air filter. I've got the air filter cleaned out. That is one of the problems with this machine. Those air filters just hang out right there and they fill up so fast. I wish that they had a pre-cleaner or drew air from somewhere better and we're inside a case. I think that'd be a better deal, but that's not what they did. So now I'm gonna put this back on. This gearbox up here does not hold much oil, so I popped the plug out of that. I'm gonna put the drain plug back in, fill it up till it runs out of that level hole, and then wipe it off. Wow, that was fast. That was only a quarter of a quart. We're gonna pull this thing outside. We gotta adjust things like the feeder house chain. That's too loose. And we were having a few issues with our grain loss monitor last year. We got it figured out on the rotor side. Now on the back here, we're gonna replace the sensor pads and the harness. And the harness is pinched in this area, and it just creates a problem because it rubs up against that and damages the harness. So I'm going to hopefully drill a hole and put the harness through the wall of the combine. And hopefully that'll get it a little bit better, it lasts a little bit longer. I finished up the harness on the combine. Still need to have somebody get on the rotor and walk on the rotor belt to make sure that I left enough slack in this harness, because if any of you don't know anything about combine, if you see this wear mark right here, these sieves shake up and down, up and down. I need to make sure that this harness is not too tight. But I have the new sensor pads in, boom, boom. They're all wired up. Now, I've got to take this plug out. Dad's gonna come over and we're gonna grease these up. Well, Dad and I went ahead and pulled all these plugs out. He was underneath. We filled them up with grease. We used like 2.5 tubes of grease on this whole thing. I'm gonna back the combine in the shed. Tonight is Mom's birthday, so we are going to spend the evening, just give her a little birthday party, birthday cake eating time. But I like how the 8-row head looks on that combine. I don't know why it looks kind of pink on the screen right now, but it's not really pink, it's red. The new tires look really good. It's gonna really help out with the amount of weight that the head adds. The new rear tires aren't really squatted like this because we're carrying the head, so it's kind of, the combine balances on that front wheel. You don't have much weight on the rear. We do have 1,600 pounds of weights tucked up in there. So really, this axle doesn't get too much weight until the grain tank's full. So one of the things I'm gonna have to do with having this new head is I'm gonna call our ag leader guy and figure out how to program it for the 8-row head, because we'll no longer have the 6-row head that it's programmed for. Another thing I did is I got a camera wired up. This combine came with a camera system, but we actually ripped it off because it was installed very poorly. So now I have it wired up on the out auger so I can see into wagons better, and I can also see back there. It's got another camera on the back of the combine, but that one needs replaced because you can't see very clearly with it. It's another little thing that should help this year with harvest. Well, welcome back to another morning of harvest prep. So today, first thing I'm going to do is we got to get the bean head out at home. So I am going to unhook this disc from this tractor. The only reason it was hooked up is because that disc is for sale. If anybody wants a 20-foot disc, hit us up. It can be yours. And then we're going to take the loader off of this tractor. And yes, those wheel weights don't match perfectly. A little bit of a story with those. We need wheel weights for this tractor, and it's really hard to get the Kubota ones. So we ended up getting Agco ones. Agco orange has a little bit more red in it than Kubota orange. But let it fade for a couple years, nobody will ever know the difference. Looks like she needs a little bit of fuel. Right now I'm gonna pop the bale spear off. I'm gonna put the loader bucket on, because to take the loader off, you gotta have the loader bucket on. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, I'm gonna take the loader off the Kubota, and it usually only takes me a couple minutes to do. Let's see. So something that I need to fix here on this tractor is the bolts that hold this valve body up came out and it was rattling against the tractor frame. So I went to town and got a M12 by 1.25 bolt, put it back in. Unfortunately, unlike Eric, 10th generation dairyman, I can't go to the neighbor a mile down the road who has everything imaginable. We have minimum of 20 minutes one way, usually about 35 to 40 minutes one way to go get something. And we're not even in the western states. You can see down there now that that is all fixed up. It's double nutted on the bottom because the nut was stripped out. The top is redone. So now I'm gonna back this tractor out of here. Okay, we had feed corn sitting on one of the wagons from when Dad cleaned the bin out just a little bit ago. And we're now running that into the feed bin so we can get the wagon available. So I'm gonna go up and watch it for Dad. We finished filling the bin and there's a little bit of corn left in the wagon. We are taking this wagon home and we're gonna finish dumping the wagon so we have all 5 of our big wagons to use for harvest. I got a whole bunch of parts ordered for our corn head that we found out we needed. So those will be coming in, let's see, right now it's Thursday. Those will be coming in Friday and Monday, but we're not gonna be needing the corn head before then. The guy who had this combine also had this head, but the first year he ran this head, he was running it on a 2366. And on that 2366, they have a narrower feeder house. It was set up for 66 and never got changed. Unfortunately, it got a little bit more wear because of that, a little bit more stuff bunched up. So we ordered new ones of these to be slid back in, to be like right where my finger is. New this as well. I knew this because there's actually supposed to be 2 pieces here. They welded a plate over the whole thing. And then this floor has a little bit of a problem. So that floor is worn thin and cracked in the front. All those parts are coming in and we should be able to get fixed up.